Yeah, that last video, this one right here, just, I don't know, it doesn't seem right. It seems like tactics for manipulation almost. It was bothering. So, why do we go silent?
Sigma male doesn't just go silent. He vanishes. When he cuts you off, it's not by accident.
I mean, I am
These men don't play around.
ghost.
If you've been shut out, you've probably messed up big time. Maybe you crossed a line, or perhaps your true colors finally showed, and they didn't like what they saw. Sigma men don't make decisions lightly. When a Sigma decides you're out,
Not at all. There's a lot of thinking and sometimes overthinking that goes into decision making.
it's sudden. No long explanations. Just silence. It's not pretty, but it's the truth you need to hear.
And if you get an explanation about it, please know that you are very special to that person.
Here are 7 reasons why Sigma male goes silent on you. Number 1. He figured out you wanted to use him. A Sigma man can totally tell when someone is trying to use him, and it's not on his list of favorite things.
Not
He
at all.
enjoys helping people, but not when it's one-sided or fake.
Not even in the top
He
10.
trusts his instincts more than anything, and
Yup.
they're rarely wrong.
They've never.
The minute he senses
I was just gonna say, and they haven't ever served wrong before. So,
you have ulterior motives, everything changes. He'll probably avoid you for a while, hoping you'll come clean and tell the truth. But if he sees no sign of that, he'll just disappear without a word. At first, it might seem innocent, like a friend helping a friend. But patterns don't lie, and Sigma males pay attention to these patterns. Friends should be equals, and when he feels the balance is off,
no, they
it feels
don't.
like a one-sided benefit.
Yep.
They're not mind readers, but are keen observers.
And I mean, I've talked to some friends about and relationships regarding reciprocity, and it's just an absolute foreign concept to people.
They'll notice that you're only calling when you're in trouble or popping up when there's something in it for you.
Yep.
It's like a radar alerting him that your friendship isn't as genuine as he thought. This isn't about tallying favors or keeping score. It's about fair play and respect. Sometimes, it's the little things that tip him off, like how the conversation always drifts to your demands, or how your praise only comes with a request attached. When a Sigma feels like a tool rather than a companion, it's more than just a blow to the ego. It's a fundamental breach of trust.
Oh, it is.
When he
It's
feels
an
un-
absolute betrayal. It's an absolute betrayal of like a soul contract in a relationship. That's the way I look at it.
Undervalued or unappreciated, his instincts tell him to retreat. This man knows his worth and won't waste energy on fake people. Silence becomes his shield. He doesn't need countless friends hanging around, especially those with hidden agendas. Being used once will make him cautious twice. That silent withdrawal isn't about ghosting. It's about protection. A way to cut ties without unnecessary drama, preserving his peace of mind. So whether intentional or not, when you cross that line of exploitation, don't be surprised when he cuts you off. Once you understand his silence, you might just discover the truth he quietly saw all along. Number 2. He caught you gossiping about him behind his back.
I don't understand the whole gossip thing. I really don't. And the fact that if you have an issue with somebody and you don't say it to that someone, that you'll run around behind that person's back and gossip to your friends about it while making up fabrications about events that happened is beyond me.
Have you ever heard whispers that make your skin crawl? It's
Yup.
the awful feeling when you realize someone you trust is whispering about you behind your back. For a Sigma male, this situation is like a flashing red light. It's a betrayal he can't ignore. Trust is everything to him, and once that's shattered, it's hard to piece together again. Gossip feels like an invisible knife that's been twisted in his side, something he finds difficult to forgive. He prefers straightforwardness, not sneaky conversation.
And people who get over each and every stitch and each and every staple that others have affected to them in their lives. I count every scar. That's fine. I don't hold grudges either. I just remember facts.
And reckless assumptions. The minute he figures out gossip is floating around with his name on it, something inside him switches off. He stops talking to you, avoids seeing you, or pretends you don't exist. Whatever reason he gives, it's always silence that follows. Even if it starts as a harmless vent, it can spiral into something harmful. Maybe it was just one comment, tossed around casually, not meant to harm, just a careless word or two. But as these things often go, it grows and spreads like wildfire.
Like
It's
a
not
cancer.
about being
You should
overly
have come and said
sensitive,
something to me.
but valuing
It's not it
truth
at all.
and integrity above
Yup.
rumors. Have you ever played the telephone game and witnessed how the original message morphs into an unrecognizable tale? That's how gossip works, and it frustrates a Sigma to no end. This kind
Beyond
of talk
belief.
feels like being surrounded by bees, where every sting is a rumor. So instead of confronting the buzz, they simply walk away, preserving their sanity. Silence becomes their armor when faced with such disloyalty. Gossip is a game they don't play. When
Nope.
they catch wind of gossip, they step aside, leaving behind the noise for a quieter, more honest space.
Save the drama
Number
for your
3.
mama.
He forgave you, but you messed up again.
Over and over again.
You've
you
been
do.
forgiven once, but here you are, slipping up again.
For the
It's
same
not just
thing?
any little mistake. It's the kind that feels like deja vu. The trust
Yeah.
was patched up, glued back
I say
together
this all the
piece
time.
by piece.
Oh, I've seen this movie
but
before.
somehow, the cracks remain. Trust, once broken, is like a delicate vase. Sure, it can be repaired, but it never quite returns to its pristine state. There's that nagging fear of it shattering again, making every new risk feel twice as daunting. When you mess up the second time around, it hits harder. Those previous warnings aren't just distant echoes. They're loud and clear, as if shouting, "Remember last time." Each error becomes a glaring reminder of what went wrong initially. This isn't about holding grudges. It's about learning from past experiences and recognizing patterns. Repeating the mistake feels almost like writing the same unwelcome chapter in a book that should have moved on. With Sigma males, trust is the golden ticket. They gave you that chance to regain harmony after your first slip-up, trying to trust the intentions behind your promises. But trust is a two-way street, and lingering doubts can tip the scales quickly. Some might think that forgiving once sets the stage for forgiveness to be an easy habit. However, each forgiveness costs more emotional energy, draining the
That's what I'm saying. And if you think there's just a simple case of, oh, sorry, and you can keep it moving, it's, with us at least, that's not how it works. And you have to realize that. You have to understand that. It's not how it works.
empathy reserve. It's like trying to
I hate when I do that. Where's my history?
It's like trying to refill a glass that has a leak. With each mishap, that glass empties faster than it can be filled again. It's a never-ending cycle that ends with Sigma needing to step away, not because he doesn't care, but because you blew the chances he gave you. And as much as he might want to stay, he knows when it's time to walk away.
It's like, how many chances do you need?
Number 4. You kept pushing.
How many chances are you going to ask for? It's like you will give people an inch and then they will take a mile. And then they get to the mile and they're like, oh, I need another inch. Just give me another inch. And you know what that is. It's a mile. And a lot of times, if you actually care about them, you'll give it to them. Because it is what it is. In hopes that they will eventually get to where they need to get to. But it's rare.
His boundaries after he set them clear. When someone keeps pushing
That's a
the
huge
limits,
one.
even after they've been spelled out clearly, there's only so much patience one can muster. It's not about being a control freak or unreasonable. It's about mutual respect. When boundaries are laid down, they're not walls meant to imprison or isolate. They're protective measures, ensuring peace and comfort in relationships. Crossing them isn't just an oversight. It's a direct disregard for someone's personal space and values. Consider the times when you've
Literally is when you're like, please don't do this, or I need this. Is there anything you need? I need this. I don't know what to say. This is way too much. This is way too relatable to too much in my real life right now.
drawn the line, hoping
let's just
for
keep it moving.
understanding. Each time the line is crossed, it feels like a poke to your core, a nudge that might start small, but soon becomes impossible to ignore.
Just
Passive silence follows, whispering louder than any spoken words.
constantly
It's
digging
not
at you.
vindictive or passive-aggressive. It's a natural response to preserve Sigma male's well-being, a silent recoil from encroachment. It's not about being difficult. It's about holding on to what's non-negotiable. While Sigma males are open-minded and adaptable, they also have clear boundaries that they won't budge on. No matter how much they care for someone, compromising their values or comfort level is not an option. Every
Let's hear that again.
encroachment. It's not about being difficult. It's about holding on to what's non-negotiable. While Sigma males are open-minded and adaptable, they also have clear boundaries that they won't budge
Non-negotiable.
on. No matter how much they care for someone, compromising their values or comfort level is not an option. Every unchecked push gradually spells out the need for distance. Without trust and respect, words lose their significance, and apologies become meaningless. Sigma male might let you get away with a few pushes, but
Literally
eventually,
said
he'll draw
a
the
multitude
line
in
and
my
walk away.
life. I don't want to hear sorry anymore. Just stop saying
Number
sorry.
5. He sensed something fishy about you. If he suddenly stops talking to you, it's probably because he picked up on something that didn't sit right. These men are intuitive and highly observant.
I was actually just going to say that. I was swallowing. Picked up on something fishy about you because our internal antennas, those internal radars, those internal Wi-Fi and Bluetooth receptors for energies that a lot of us have, told us to be very careful. That there was something up, that you were being elusive and not truthful for some reason.
They can sniff out lies and deceit, even the slightest hint of it. So if you've been hiding something or being dishonest, he's likely caught on to your game. When
Just
something
be
feels
real.
off, they trust their instincts. It's not that he's paranoid or overly suspicious, but he pays attention to the little things.
Everything.
Those subtle cues in behavior or inconsistencies in stories that others might miss. When something doesn't line up,
All the stories. Just make it make sense. I say that all the time. Especially in my house. Where I'm like, okay, just make it make sense, please.
it triggers a silent alarm. He doesn't take risks with people who seem dishonest or have questionable motives. If you're inconsistent, make him doubt your intentions or display behavior that raises red flags. It's like a switch flips and communication cuts off. He's not going to waste time deciphering puzzles if they could lead to unwanted drama or disrupt his peace of mind. It doesn't matter if you think the reason is minor. Once he's wary, it's tough to sway him back. This isn't about being unforgiving. It's about avoiding unnecessary conflict. While some people might be willing to overlook or downplay little things, Sigma doesn't want the risk of being dragged into your mess. His silence is a calculated choice, not an emotional reaction. He's not going to
Facts.
tell you what he found suspicious or confront you about it. He'll just quietly slip out of your life and move on. It's not personal. It's just how Sigma men protect themselves from potential harm. Number 6. You were always playing the victim card. Playing the victim card can be quite detrimental when dealing with a Sigma male. He's someone who values accountability and personal responsibility above excuses or shifting the blame. When you consistently frame yourself as the injured party, it doesn't garner sympathy.
Or that it was somebody else's fault. That sounded like my dog barking, but it sounds like he's upstairs and barking. Interesting.
It just makes him lose respect for you. He can't tolerate people who refuse to take ownership of their actions or situations. Adopting a martyr mentality can be bewildering for these men because they don't understand why someone would intentionally play the victim.
Not wired like that. I've had a few neck surgeries. I got a bunch of nerve damage from them on my spinal cord. I have multiple sclerosis, and there is no victim. There is no, I'm sad, poor me. There is, oh, this sucks. Keep it moving. Is what it is.
They see it as a way to manipulate or gain attention, and that's
Yup.
not something Sigmas respect.
Nope.
Victimhood is a toxic mindset, and
Yup.
Sigmas cut off those who refuse to own up to their part in things. They can spot the pattern. Every time there's an issue, somehow the fingers always point away from you. This predictability becomes exhausting quickly. They can't relate to the constant complaints without action to change the situation.
That's it. I'm not wired
Ironically,
like that.
trying to hold his attention with made-up complaints backfire.
That's it. It's like, oh, I can't see. 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 Why are you crying? You can't see. My eyes are closed. Open your eyes. Like, figure it out.
And actually pushes him further away.
Yeah.
Instead of being engaged in your narrative, he finds an escape
What are you
route
doing?
and leaves you behind. Don't play this game with a Sigma male. He doesn't have time for it.
It is the most precious
Number
commodity
7.
that we have
You
as
talk
humans.
too much, and it drains his energy. Have you ever noticed
I say that all the time, too, to people. Is this going to be a long story?
how silent a Sigma man gets when you're talking nonstop? It's like watching the battery icon on your phone drop to red. The Sigma male likes
Like
things
someone's just
calm
turning
and
off
peaceful.
the switch.
He
just
enjoys
powering
listening,
down.
but when someone talks without stopping, it's super tiring for him. It's not that
And other than the talking without stopping, if there's talking with nothing stimulating, that's just draining. Small talk and chit-chat is pointless. Please don't.
he doesn't care about what you have to say. It's just that too much chatter makes him feel like his energy is being sucked away. If you're always talking, he doesn't get the chance to recharge. This is why sometimes he closes off or gets silent. It's his way of taking a break and saving his energy for things that matter.
Or even respond to what you're saying. Or acknowledge that we're listening. Or comment on your cool story because you're just steamrolling and don't stop.
To him. For a Sigma, it's all about quality over quantity. He doesn't need a lot of words to understand someone. A few meaningful sentences can say more than a long conversation. This doesn't mean he wants you to stop talking altogether. He just appreciates it when you get to the point quickly and leave room for both of you to listen and share equally.
And if you've ever given a response of, oh, well, fine, I'll just stop talking altogether, that's an extremely childish point of view and response. It's an extremely juvenile and immature place to come from and respond from. It's like, oh, I just won't do that ever again anymore. Okay. It's probably not possible. You're probably going to have to talk to me again at some point. You'll probably have to use words and your voice to speak. But it's like, I don't know. I think us Sigma males have it the worst out of all the men groups, the men personality types. I think we may possibly have it the worst just because we tend to be the most to ourselves, the most lone wolf out of everything, out of all the personality groups. I don't know, just my thoughts. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this. Hopefully they do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.